In April 2010, I developed a passion for a new sport, taking my life in a different direction. Kayaking next to open water swimmers, elite novice and youth, and promoting safety within the sport have become high priorities in my life. During the 2010 and 2011 Catalina Channel Swim Federation seasons, I participated in 20 swims and various other open water competitions, and I continue to paddle today. As kayak support for open water swimmers, I am there to provide a watchful and encouraging eye, to be the swimmer's ears, eyes, beacon, and gauge to measure safety, conditions, and course. We're a finely tuned team as we travel through the water together. The swimmer setting the pace and positioning, the kayaker holding the course and maintaining position at all times and under all conditions. Safety and preparation first, and all else naturally follows. The kayaker is not only staying on course, but also making decisions on behalf of the swimmer while they are in the water, with their prior input, approval, and blessing. Swimmers know that it's serious and dangerous swimming in the open water, and despite swimming skills and expertise, anything can happen. Plan for the best, but always be ready for the worst. Do not scare the swimmers, only let them know the intensity of the endeavor and remind them the thrill of their accomplishment. I always stress respect. As a kayaker, respect all swimmers despite age or ability. Support swimmers in their pursuits, and in return they will respect the kayaker, their experience, and their judgment. The kayaker shares the swimmer's vision and their pursuit of achievement within the parameters of safety. Kayakers also share the victory of the swim, whether it's complete, incomplete, fast, slow, or otherwise. The swimmer and kayaker work together to achieve a goal, but even the pursuit of a goal is victory in itself. Kayakers should liaise with swimmers to help them understand motivations for safety and also help them to understand that their concerns are also the kayakers' concerns. Here are some questions that swimmers might ask their kayakers. Certainly not all the questions, but enough to start a conversation leading toward better understanding and communication. Question: what can you as the kayaker do for me, the swimmer, that I can't do for myself alone or with a buddy in the water? Answer: I can see what you cannot see, I can hear what you cannot hear, and I can determine where the line is drawn between a risky situation and a safe situation. I can concentrate on safety and steering a true course while you concentrate on reaching your destination by swimming without having to worry about the details. Question: if I become distressed, what can you do to help me? Answer: I am always looking for signs of distress, maybe even before you see them. I am looking for a slowed stroke count, slurred speech, disorientation, or trouble with feeding and hydrating. If there is any misgiving, even the slightest indication, I will raise the alarm with race directors, support boat, or via a marine band emergency radio. If I'm alone, I will take measures to get you onto the kayak until help arrives. Question: will there be a plan before we get into the open water? Answer: a plan is the first thing the swimmer and kayaker should always discuss. If it is the first time meeting, there are questions to ask and guidelines to talk about. Some first questions to ask the swimmer before entering the water might be: what is your normal stroke count, and does it slow progressively or is it constant? Kayaker will be monitoring stroke count at regular intervals. How do you breathe, one side or bilateral? The answer to this will determine position of the kayak, but it might also take time to establish the perfect positioning once the swim is underway. What is your desired feeding schedule, and what do you eat and drink? Do you want me to alert you to the presence of marine life in the water? How do you want me to alert you when it's time to eat? And do you trust me to make decisions concerning your safety while you're in the water? Next question: what kind of contact will we have between the kayak and the swimmer? If you would like encouragement during the swim, I will encourage sporadically or constantly. I am here to make you swim safe, swim hard, and swim to your best ability. If you swim best with encouragement or with solitude, I will respect that request. If you want me to watch you constantly, I will. If not, I will watch as you swim, just enough so that I know you are safe. Question: if the swim needs to stop immediately, how will I know? Answer: crucial to know the signal for stopping the swim. For me as a kayaker, the paddle raised above my head in both hands is always my preferred method. I would discourage a loud whistle because with earplugs, the sound of splashing, and other outside distractions. This could keep the swimmer from hearing the whistle. Also, in certain populated waters, the sound of a whistle may be a signal that the lifeguards or other authorities use to signal certain dangers. The sign to stop should only be used in dire emergency, so it remains the emergency measure of the highest and most crucial order. Question asked by a kayaker: Are you peeing? In the beginning stages of hypothermia, bladder and kidney functions can start to shut down. Urine is the result of your kidneys filtering water and other chemicals out of your blood, so it is very important to monitor urination. I will occasionally ask if you are peeing. Question asked by the kayaker: What will you be drinking during your swim, and are there any special requirements? Answer: A swimmer needs to hydrate and feed during a long-distance swim. Swimmers should be strongly advised not to change their feeding routine before a swim. It's important to the success of the scheduled swim that the status quo of training is adhered to, so there is no chance to experience adverse reactions to a new schedule or a new product. Understand that the swimmer may also have special requirements that include ibuprofen, Dramamine, or Bonine, or mouthwash, especially in salt water. Be warned that no pharmaceuticals, even over the counter, should ever be administered by the kayaker. Resist every temptation to make a solo decision to administer pharmaceuticals. Results are unpredictable and could be very dangerous. Question asked by a kayaker: What is your oldest child's name? Where were you born? Answer: Curious questions? Maybe not. Short-term memory loss can be a signal of the early stages of hypothermia, so if there is any doubt in the kayaker's mind about the well-being of the swimmer, the kayaker must ask occasional questions to verify that the swimmer is not only strong of body, but strong of mind. It is probably best not to ask the answers to these questions you plan to ask in the water prior to the swim, because there's a chance the swimmer may simply repeat them from memorization. Think of this prior to the swim, then during simple conversation it will be easy to determine the answers to questions you might want to ask during the swim. Question: Is there any circumstances when the swimmer will be asked to get out of the water? Answer: During a sanctioned swim, there will be officials who will have the ultimate authority to pull a swimmer from the water if they believe there is any threat to their well-being. During a training swim with a kayaker, it's important for kayaker and swimmer to understand that the kayaker will have authority to pull the swimmer out if there is any misgiving about their well-being or any present danger. Safety trumps everything else every time. Open water swimming is a sport with many variables, perhaps the one biggest draw to the adventure-driven athlete. It also is a sport that shows no margin for error when it comes to calculating risks. Risk, however, should never overshadow the thrill of the open water. Whether you are swimming for enjoyment or swimming for the win, remember that a competent kayaker on your team can only enhance the experience. Following is a list of some items you might want to have on the kayak. This, however, is based on a Catalina Channel crossing, and your requirements may change according to the intensity and the distance of the swim. Kayak: a paddle, a seat and a paddle leash, and an 8-foot bowline or bow line. Coast Guard approved PFD for the paddler to be worn, and an extra one for a possibly distressed swimmer. I carry a waterproof container with my information, my emergency information, $20, a cell phone, a copy of my medical insurance card with signed permission to treat, and a copy of the swimmer's insurance card with a signed permission to treat. A marine band radio, preferably waterproof and preferably floating. A whistle to be worn in case it becomes separated during a capsize situation. 2 to 3 light sticks. A swimmer safety flag. Food and drink for the paddler as well as food and drink for the swimmer, a mesh bag for feeds and any other incidentals, with a carabiner for attachment to the boat. This could be handy during rough weather. An extra cap and goggles, which the swimmer might request. Kayak car straps in case a swim does not end where it began and the kayak needs to be transported back to the point of origin. Dry clothes or a towel as stowage permits if the swim does not end where it began and the swimmer will be cold and need warm clothing, especially a woolly cap. Remember, you are a lone swimmer, but with a caring and experienced kayaker, you will never truly be alone in the water. Happy swimming!